So now that you've set up your stop categories and stop reasons, this is the page that your operators will interact with. We typically like to see this line side on some sort of interactable device like a tablet or a PC, somewhere where your operators can interact with it to give attribution to stops as they happen. So on this page, as you can see, the blue is production. This is uptime when the machine was running, and the red are when stops have occurred. And our sensors are able to automatically populate this with when the stops have occurred. So your operators don't have to worry about starting and ending the actual stop time. That's done automatically. All we need them to do is give us the reason why that stop occurred. So earlier we set up the stop categories and stop reasons, and they're all available down here. What your operators need to do when a stop has occurred is click on the relevant stop, and then come down here and find the category that that stop was in. So let's say that this particular stop was maintenance. We come to this category, click maintenance, and then we click unplanned maintenance here. There's unplanned and planned maintenance available. So let's say this was unplanned maintenance. As you saw earlier, sometimes we required an initial and a comment. This time a comment is required. So this was unplanned maintenance. I can give another reason for that. So I could say need engineer and register stop. Now that is immediately then registered as unplanned maintenance. All of this can be done across all these stops, and it is as easy as clicking on the relevant stop, finding the category, and clicking on the reason code. And then that's done. The operator can forget about it and move on. This can also, of course, be done retrospectively. So your operator can actually fix the issue first and then come back and register the stop later, rather than worrying, oh, I have to go find Factbird and register now. We understand it's a busy environment, so this can be done retrospectively. Now, these stops are all individual stops, but sometimes all of the stops could actually be for the same reason, but the machine just went up and down again. And so you want to merge all these stops to show this whole time was actually lost production. So let's zoom in here. And let's say we want to say that all of these stops here were actually one stop for one reason. How we do that is by selecting all the stops, the relevant stops like this, and then come down and find the reason code. So let's say this was all this downtime was actually the machine was down for this entire period, and that was all due to a valve error. So we can click valve error here after we've selected all these stops. Initials are required on this particular stop type, and we click merge stop. Now this means that all of these stops are going to be merged into one stop, showing that this machine was actually down for all this time. So you're overriding that uptime data. Now you can see that all of these stops have been merged, and it's all under the category of valve error. So that's how you merge a stop, but sometimes a stop may have occurred that will come up as one continuous block on the system because the machine was down for the entire time. But the reason could have actually been twofold. There could have been half of it due to something and half of it due to something else. So in order to do this, we have a capability to split stops. So let's zoom in on this particular stop here, this quite large one. So let's say this stop, the machine was down for the entire time, but you actually want to say that it was two separate reasons. So you can click it, and then you want to find the first reason that the machine was down. So let's say this was a valve error for the first bit. You click that, you put in your initials again, and you click split stop. So here then you get the option to show how much of the stop was for the first reason and how much of the stop was the second reason, and you get to choose that ratio. So let's say that the valve error that we've just chosen was actually only responsible for the first 12 minutes of the stop. So you can see up here now, I've said that the valve error is for the first 12 minutes. And then I need to say what was the second 34 minutes and 18 seconds for. I need to give attribution to that too. So let's say that was actually due to materials missing. I click that, I click register. And now you can see this stop that was once one big stop is now split up into this much valve error and this much materials missing. So you're able to split that stop to get a really granular level of detail of exactly why your machines were down.